Okay, we're here, we're back in it. Figured a couple things out. Well, I say I figured them out. I looked a couple things up and figured things out from there. Redundantly record progress just in case. I won't get it ready. We got two different ways out of this current situation. I can use the spear, apparently. Hit certain switches, which I did not realize it would work on. Because in my tired state, brain did not put two and two together about, hey, you just got this spear. Probably useful for something in here. Or we can just use the wings to go back to the start of the dungeon. Which the start of the dungeon is presumably where we need to be at this point. All roads kept leading to Rome in here all the time. So for sanity, I'm going to use the wings. And just hope that it's not necessary to use the spear mechanic too much. Ways I haven't figured out. Dream Elements, are you just behind, or is there something actually wrong? No, my is saying one thing and Dream Elements is saying another. Oh, I hope that's not you. Thankfully, anybody who comes in after this point won't see it anyway. Can't hurt to get a bit of free money from bad monks anyway. The fact that they drop crystals. Which spell uses crystal, though? It has. Oh, right, I think I put away the spell that uses crystal. Because I think it was Hardball that was crystal. Useless, so I put it away. I probably should put away the Atlas spell. Hindsight, since now, gotta figure out where from here we need to actually go. I have no idea if leveling Revealer helped. I think that happened, I guess. Ah, right. There's the switch over there. Probably need to hit that. Come on. Ah! He just does it. Even though that's a thing mechanically you can never do on your own, the game just decides, hey, you're looking at a switch, here, just magically throw the spear like 7 times the distance you normally can. Sure, why not? That's also probably how we were supposed to get out of the room we were trapped in. I was probably intended to line up just right with the switch in that room, and then he'd throw the spear. Which, I get it, mechanically, now that I understand that. But, from a new player perspective, that's really bad and kinda dumb, and they shouldn't have done that. Now, I will say, before we go in there and do the boss fight, we probably should restock, in hindsight. I'm just gonna hit a save here before we go do that. And it can't hurt to get a free heal. Apparently she doesn't heal me? I thought she was a heal and a save. Goes to show how much I remember from, like, days ago. Oh, I wasn't live yesterday. I did Rogue Legacy the day before I took the day off. Then... Or did I take the day off before Rogue Legacy 2? I don't know. Doesn't matter. We'll resupply. At least a nice short trip to and from the camp to the hall. To the pyramid's a little bit further, but that's not that big a deal. And I believe this guy sells just about everything we need. Actually, selling these at a good price. Primarily need casts of Flash since Flash is at the higher level still, but having a couple casts of Fireball won't be a bad idea to start working it up. What? Fireball? Brimstone and Ash, okay. Ash do I have? Not a lot. If I want to get rid of anything, exchange bringing back Hardball or something to have like a stun shot for the boss fight. Answer is I don't think so. For anyone wondering why I have more wax than I need for the amount of oil I have, it's so that I have a couple casts of Crush on hand too. I think I'm gonna keep Atlas just so I have a means of doing extra damage for a bit, and then I'll get rid of it after I use the Atlas amulet. I think that's the smart way to go about that. Should have a few more casts of Fireball. Yeah, we have as many Fireballs as we have Brimstone now. That should put us in a decent position for this fight. We got 16 Crush, 40 Flash, 7 Fireball, decent weapon. Realized I missed a fairly significant message earlier on today, so I ended to that, and now it's turning into a whole thing. Bear with me as I occasionally have to stop to respond to that. It's nothing bad. It's nothing any of you need to worry about. It's bad. Slightly awkward for the person I'm talking to. They'll be fine. Go fight us a boss. At least I'm assuming that since it requires the item we get from the dungeon to access it, that it's a boss. Save before that though, so we don't have to do the chopping and walking again. Because I'm not gonna say I don't have confidence, but I understand my odds. Should have just hit him. Really should have just hit him. Now he might respawn by the time we get back up there, and it's just gonna be annoying. The damage I don't care about because we can easily just fix that. Cast of Cure. Okay. I do really hope, though, that this game doesn't get much worse about the just obtuse enough ideas where I don't catch it and we end up having to look it up, because we've been having some consistency with those. Hi. I get the distinct impression I found the boss. Not this shit again. I roll around like a goddamn Beyblade. How do I hurt you? Why did you just become one with the flame? What? Okay, I can target the Megatar now. Apparently there's a lot of opportunities where I cannot target him. Kind of upsetting. That is also upsetting. The fact that he can just avoid my attack by just disappearing into a fire. Well, that's upsetting too. Uh-huh. Missed me, punk. Here, have one right back. Nice, that counted. Oh, Crush actually did a lot of damage to him. Should hit him with more of those. 95. Your Crush sucks by comparison, buddy. Here, get crushed. Ow. You and your level 0 Crush. Level 1 Crush is where it's at. Wait a minute. He glowed yellow when he cast Confound. Did he confound himself because I moved and brought it to him? Oh, he got me with it that time. Yeah, no, I did get him with his own Confound. Huh. Fascinating. Today we learned I can make the enemy do terrible things to him. This fight's not as bad as the other guy so far. In spite of his ability to just neutralize my damage by turning himself into a tiny little ball of fire. Dog into the fight. Both so he has another target and extra attack. Flash. Oh, Flash does a ton of damage now. I've leveled it up. I was assuming he had like a bunch of fire resist since, you know, turn into fire. Aye. Physical attack is a lot harder than his Crush. Multi-targeting with the Crush. Rude. Oh, I don't like that. That did no damage. Never mind. I thought he was gonna like heal for 100 or so off of hitting me with his drain. I multi-target. Ow. T was the one currently being targeted. I was trying to cheat the system a bit there. Oh, and you're gonna confound both, huh? Great. Thanks. Love it. Here's my fireball of appreciation. help. And that is the power of having well-leveled alchemy. Oh, first of the 2 diamond eyes. Why was he still able to both drain and crush us at the end of the fight? The hell is that? Doesn't matter, he's dead and we aren't. Fucking reverse controls. The confound wore off when we left the screen, so I ended up going back. Off to the pyramid, I guess. After we go rest and save. I have to do that again. So for all that the dungeon was a pain, that fight wasn't bad at all. I don't know if we're over-leveled and over-equipped for it or what, but compared to Magnar, that was easy. Oh, he just taught us escape. I was not paying attention to what he said at all because I thought he was doing his shop dialogue. So we don't really need wings then, because we can just use 1 wax, 1 vinegar, and teleport out. Okay, that's good to know. I mean, I'm still gonna carry the wings because I'd rather save my wax for more casts of flash, but in an emergency where I somehow run out of wings, that'll be useful. Also got a bunch of money, so I'll grab a couple hits of brimstone and ash so that we can cast more fireballs to get that trained up. Actually, yeah, we got a lot of money. Stock up. We're gonna need all the firepower we can get going forward, probably, so we may as well have a lot. Get a bit more vinegar to have it on hand. We're looking pretty good now. Here's the... I definitely need some rest. My health is currently fine, but oh boy. Everything else... Yes, that's the important thing. Save the game. Now, I will admit that after having been in the pyramid before the Hall of Colossia, I don't really know how what we got in the Hall of Colossia is supposed to help us with the pyramid. I don't remember anything that we got that would explicitly help. Aside from, we are stronger now. That's a good thing. But I don't recall seeing any buttons to, like, throw a spear at her. Manipulate. Yes, I can. No bridge to reveal here, so there really wasn't a point to doing that. Oh, and he'll actually stay still. Situation. Okay. We can use that. That's probably what we need to get further in here, actually. Realizing how to control dog. Which is something that up till this point really wasn't necessary. Might be important, it might not. Get all of this off my back. I need the weapon levels anyway. I'm not gonna waste my time trying to stab her. Almost 600 damage. I have used flash way too much. Continue. Bring the dog in. Now, we've already been to a lot of places here. Don't remember what all the places we've been to in here. So we're gonna end up doing some redundancy. That's just gonna have to be what it is. I think I have a decent idea of where we actually need to be at this point, but we do not currently know the way to get to where we... I remember where we stopped in here. I just don't remember how we got where we stopped in our progress in here. Which is also why I'm not sure how what we have is supposed to help us. There are many things I don't know, so it wouldn't surprise me if there's just something I'm missing information-wise again. Just comb back through the pyramid, make sure we're not missing anything, and find our way forward eventually. Like, I know how to open those walls, at least I'm reasonably sure how that works. But we don't have access to what we need for that yet. Because given the way the weapons in this game have worked, I would be willing to bet that we need the next axe to start breaking our way through around here. Now, why an axe would break walls? Hard to say. Probably because they just didn't make hammers. Or it is a hammer. So I would assume since the category is axe, it's going to be an axe. But I'm currently operating under the logic that every area of the game is going to have its equivalent of each of the weapons category. And they are going to start being needed for puzzles, as you considering we've now started needing the spear for puzzles. We blatantly see this guy here. Unless Fireball targets walls, which it doesn't, I'm not really sure what to do about this situation still. Aside from presumably we need to get said axe in order to break that open to talk to him, which means we need to find the axe first, which means there must be a path we can take to find said axe. Leads me to a current assumption of I need to use the spear on something in order to access the path. Which would also make sense considering most of these Sons of Set are walking around with spears. Now, that's probably more logic than they put into the game, but it at least helps me make sense of things. Think we're making forward progress on our path right now? Nope, No, we are not. On in a circle. This place is a pain in the ass. Thing is a maze. Dude. There's buttons on the floor, which I feel like should be doing something. I think that's just because of the way the last place was. And just the fact that, you know, they're at a place. Curious. Level... Oh boy, Flash is gonna be at level fucking 7 by the time we're done with this place, it looks like. Flash is getting out of hand, and I'm happy. Oh. No idea what that acorn we found is for. Assume there's a recipe somewhere that calls for acorn. Okay, honey is a... This appears to be a dead end. Definitely taken a wrong turn somewhere. I know we've gotten to 3 doors in this place before. Specifically, we got to this one somehow. On our way before. And I'm pretty sure it actually was in this doorway here that we got up top. Unless we needed to go down here. Anyway. So it's a whole lot of nowhere. In my research, we did miss a couple other formulas, and we're not missing much by not having them. Speed formula would be nice, and apparently that Sting formula I left behind in the Oasis is one of the most powerful formulas in the game if you train it hard enough. But I'm sure we'll do just fine without it. Considering we just tore the Megatar apart. We just kept taking a single wrong turn as usual. That's how we didn't get part of the day anyway. Been here before. Now the thing is, we need to somehow get the dog here, I guess, in order to push both those buttons down. Wait a minute, I might be stupid. We'll check this section again to make sure, but I think I might have just hit upon something in my head that we need to do. And it's something I literally just did, except we need to reverse it. The way I let the kid into the room there, I think, is incorrect. I think we need to send the dog through that door. And then the dog can gain access to the upper sections somehow that way. And then we bring the kid up the pyramid, probably. Because we're kind of at a dead end in this section. This busted wall here that we got through. Go down here. Come upon a gate. Where we can't have. I think that is the case. I think we need to go back down. Let the dog into the pyramid. We need to do just some janky nonsense like that. We got nothing but breakable walls that we can't currently break. diversion was pointless. The reason why I'm pretty sure we need to somehow get the dog up here is the fact that there's all these cracked floors that the dog will blatantly be able to jump over because of things that the game has taught us along the way here. Which, you know, they really should have been a bit better about teaching, but at least the idea was put there. I think I'm going the wrong way. Back out of the pyramid, and I feel like I've gone further in rather. Sure have. Also, I forgot to do like 4 things I should quickly do. There we go. That post there. Okay. Got all my messages out that I meant to get out that I forgot to do. Okay. Because, you know, gotta advertise things, gotta make sure people know what's what, etc. This section we can out pyramid. Spits us out here. Back around. And this could all be pointless. This entire backtrack I'm doing might also be pointless. I am completely prepared to accept the fact that I might just be making a complete pointless error here. But without making a few pointless errors, we're never going to figure out what we actually need to be doing. I stand on button. Dog goes through door. Dog jumps gap. Aha! That is the answer. Now the dog can push the buttons that we need in order to open up the other areas. That also explains how he can gain access to the higher parts of the pyramid without being able to walk up the stairs. And I did not look this one up. I realized this when I realized I could not find a way to gain access to these switches. And then the last bit of it hit me there when I sent Kid in here and realized he couldn't jump the gap. So now we go back up there. Same thing again, except now we have all those gates open. Because you're supposed to do that first, probably. Instead of doing what I did, be an idiot. The catch to that being, there's also not much reason for expecting to do that still. Because you've only had to use the dog once in order to gain access to something. And it was right before this. So it's a mixed bag whether anybody would have immediately been thinking of uses for the dog. I swear the spawn rate in here is worse than it was the last time we were here. Almost like they know I can finally make progress, so they're like, no, you will have to waste all of your time and charges of spells clearing all these buzzards off your face constantly. Get out of my way. Now, I think I actually went into the wrong one. I think I was meant to be in the other one still, but I think there was a gate here we did open. I need to remember where it was. It's up and right. That's all it is. It's either led to a dead end or a door. I can't remember. Why are these hallways so jam-crammed with crap today? I thought we opened that. Apparently I had the wrong door. Or walking away from the buttons undid them being open. Which I swear, if I have to sit there with the dog on each of the buttons, I'm very upset. Because that's gonna mean we're gonna have to go all the way back again. Ugh. Which, if we have to go back again, I'm going to use wings and just get back to the entrance that way. For the love of God, this design is kind of annoying. Easy check will be, I know where the little orange pyramids are, and I know for a fact we opened the gate next to those. They would just stop blocking every goddamn ramp in the universe. Christ. I walk more than 2 feet without being assaulted, please. All I'm asking for is like 2 feet of walking space. Yep, that gate's shut again, so we need to do the whole thing again. The dog needs to stay in that room. God, that's dumb. I get it, but God, that's dumb. They made a lot of really odd decisions with this game. Yeah, because you'll notice, if you're actually paying attention, that as soon as I step off of it, it stops being lit up. This is an interesting idea, but I don't think it's a good idea. Or at the very least, they should not have made this place such a huge pain in the ass to traverse if they were gonna do it that way. And at least make sure it's a bit clearer to the player that that's how that works at face value, instead of expecting you to figure it out basically by trial and error. Because, yeah, you could notice the fact that the buttons turn off when you walk away from them. Now, I know for a fucking fact that I opened that door. Ah. I have to be loaded into the room, too, huh? Okay. Wow. Oh, great. Fucking great. Really? Okay, yes, I can kill them. Easily, but I can. Work on these. Or something. There's something that kills them good. That doesn't work. Okay. Fireball. Stabbing them does a lot of nothing, as you'd expect from a statue. Okay, they can be killed. They just take a beating. But, okay. If I just don't step on the wrong button, they don't activate. I was starting to suspect that, but I didn't have any confirmation until I tested it. I'm just glad we're finally making actual progress in here instead of stuck. So, frustratingly, the door I've chosen was the wrong door. I chose this one because it was the conveniently reachable door, and lo and behold, it's the door that leads to absolute fucking pubkiss till we have a way of breaking the walls. We need to go elsewhere. Now, I don't want to use escape or wing or anything, because I'm pretty sure that'll bring both me and the dog back to the entrance. Which would just be inconvenient. And it's, of course, just so nice that everything in here poisons you. Not gonna lie, if I wasn't committed to finishing this game, as much out of spite as anything else, I would have probably given up on this game by now. This game's got some real tedious decisions. Which is a pity, because the majority of this game is good. Just mostly like level design issues that are... and some enemy design ideas, like the whole fucking bog serpent of 1,000,000 health. Now, I would not be surprised if said serpent had like a glaring weakness to one of the formulas we didn't grab or something, and that's what makes that reasonable. But since we didn't have that, I don't really consider that to be an answer. This does, however, mean that by the time we get ready to fight the boss in here, we're gonna have to restock again. Which is okay, because we have been making absolute ludicrous amounts of money. I have taken the wrongest turn. Of course I have, because this place is so easy to get turned around in, because everything looks the fucking same in here. And you're constantly just trying to get through rather than dealing with endless amounts of aggravating enemies. And I may sound annoyed, but I'm not annoyed yet. You'll know it when I'm annoyed. I'm not even gonna have enough flash to get through this place with the amount of goddamn buzzards there are constantly. But if I don't kill the buzzards, we're just gonna sit here and knock back Central for the next 3 years. And there's this shit, where they just cram a guy in a doorway because they know you can't really get around him. So haha, you have to fight, haha. How close am I to getting level for the spear? Way too far for it to matter. Got it. Now I'm faced with an important question, though. Where the hell were the other gates? Because I know we've seen more than one gate, and I'm assuming one of them has to be here. But I might be making an erroneous assumption. I'm just goddamn lost. That said, I just had a brilliant idea. Brilliant-ish. I can use the scrolling of the camera to give me an idea where things are. Specifically, if I see myself, I know I'm in the right area. So it's like all of these are relatively close together. On the same floor, even. It means they're on the same floor as this one. Yeah, we're in a bit of a mix of a Roman and an Egyptian area right now. We're right now in the very Egyptian pyramid, full of things that are pissing me off. Specifically the fact that everything in here goddamn looks the same, and all things are losing meaning. Oh, yeah. And the thing is, mazes are okay when you can tell where anything is. And then there's this whole dog puzzle over here, which, aside from making a guess, since there was a single button you could stand on and then send one character through, you had no way of knowing that you needed to do that. So when we went in here initially, we got stuck a lot because of the fact that I didn't have the dog in position because I didn't know I had to. Hunks are the safe buttons. Step on the other one and the snake head activates. But we're finally making progress. Can't open that pot. Very odd. Wasted a lot of resources trying to get anywhere in here, and we might now have gotten stuck a bit, unless we don't need to go that way. I swear, if I have to reload the area because of that, I'm going to be very upset. Yeah, well, that's kind of the thing, is the middle ground between these two ideas is good. The kid glove method we're up to at this point, yes. Very much too kind, too easy. But the thing is, you need to give the player information to work with. You can't just expect them to look at something and go, oh, I need this, with zero call for any information on that. The only other time we've used the dog was just across one gap. There was no previous conception that you would ever use the dog for anything other than combat. Exactly. You put like a little dog head on the wall or anything. Because the only thing you had to work with was the fact that you could open that door at all. And I've just now realized a really stupid thing. Okay, never mind, we're fine. I can open the doors. I was about to say I think we might be stuck having to use the wings to get out because we're trapped in there, but no. We have access to those buttons, so we're okay. What? Oh, I appear to have encountered a boss. What? Why is there two of you now? Fine, I'll just blast you both. changing colors when I assault him? I am confused. I'm assuming he's like switching resistances as I hit him. Good job, you did a lot of no damage. Good job. But like, even just have there be a section along the way where you actually have to use those buttons at all, in a way that's informed in the slightest. Or just have there be a dialogue moment there, like they've done with a lot of other really hand-holdy moments that they didn't need it for. Like, it's the inconsistency that makes it problematic to guess anything in this game. Because they go between very obviously pointing out what you need to do and then giving you zero information. So you never really know what you need to be doing. It's like, sure, I can assume we just received a new weapon. There were lots of doors like this. Clearly I need to use the new weapon on those doors. That's an assumption I can make. But making a blind assumption that I need to let the dog specifically into a room in order to have the dog go stand on a bunch of buttons. And then expect me to make the further assumption that he has to physically stay on those buttons for them to work. That's a lot of leaps of logic required. And sure, you can trial and error it, which is what I did, but that's not exactly a fun way of going about it. Taking your stuff, old man, because I'm mad. Burning your cat. Young man, your company is most welcome, and don't worry, the beasts won't attack us in this corner, except the cat that was in here and trying to kill me. Would you like me to record your progress? Okay, I think we're good now. I think now that we have the axe, we're basically fine. That's all you do, is you save my progress? You don't even fucking teach me anything? Die, old man. Die, you worthless old bastard. So we're back in the section of the pyramid we were in before. And now we have the axe, so now the world is our oyster. Crack open anything. Nope. Yeah, just... this whole pyramid is sad. Everything about this pyramid is miserable sadness. Okay, now we crack that open, get the dog available. Whatever fucking purpose. Also, can I just say that assuming the dog can jump this gap is a bit of a stretch too? Because you'll look at that and go, oh, I can't do anything with that. And the only way you'd find out you can is if you just happen to brush up against it enough that he actually jumps. Is sure, you crossed the bridge gap with the dog a few screens before this, but that gap was smaller. And don't get me wrong, that last bit that I'm saying there is a bit nitpicky. I fully accept that. And it's because I'm so aggravated with the way this has been up till now. Because this place really is just taking a lot longer than it needs to, just because they made it needlessly complex. And just a little bit of information would have, the fuck just happened there? Well, let me correct. I know exactly what just happened there. But at the same time, the fuck? So for those who missed that, the dog got knocked back, such that he counted as being on that bridge. So he then got sent back across the bridge, which then lowered the bridge, now locking us from going down there and getting into that room over there. Which is where we fucking needed to go. Mind you, that bridge is never lowered before. We have crossed that bridge a good 20 times. It never lowered. Why'd it lower now? Like, genuinely, the fuck, video game? Oh, and it's just Dunzo now. Great. You know what? Fuck it. I'm assuming it's not meant to be a lockout by those circumstances, but it is probably intentional to be a lockout at a certain point when you go in there and come back. I'm really hoping we're not locked out of something we actually needed to do, and we're not permanently locked. What I think I'm gonna have to do is fully leave the dungeon and come back for that to raise back up again. Which is just goddamn tedious. Like, the amount of running back and forth pointlessly we're doing here is right up there with goddamn teleporter mazes. It's just a lot of running around in the same goddamn place till you just happen to line up with the right things to get through it. And writing it all down would make it easier, but it would make it no less tedious. I think I'm running towards an exit. Oh, sure am. It would help a lot if I stopped running into puzzle areas like this when it's fucking 90 degrees out. But my brain is just melting inside my skull because the universe just hates all life right now and wants to cook everyone alive. Currently trying to remember where other breakable walls were in here. But we can hit both the buttons here. Okay, you know what? That's fair that you've confounded me there, game, because I am very confounded. What the fuck am I looking at? Also, this was a terrible mistake, because I do not have enough alchemy available for this. I should not have just opened that willy-nilly. And I cannot leave. Solid. Okay. I hope this thing doesn't have a ton of health, otherwise it's gonna get problematic. I can't even target it while it's flying around like an idiot. Let's try this idea. You son of a bitch! Just flies away the second I fucking finish casting that. Okay, I see how it is, game. Yeah, we definitely do a lot more damage with our axe now that we're atlased up. So it's in our best interest to just sit here and wail away at it while we're sitting there. Hopefully this thing doesn't have a shitload of health. If it does, we just load back, go back outside, come back in, wash, rinse, repeat. Cancel their attack. Just fuck you. Okay, good. I can target multiple. Shut down all those statues. Thankfully, just like they can do for our flashes, we can just walk away from their flash. You know, when it's not coming at me from the direction I'm going. We still do a decent amount of damage without Atlas on. This might be okay. We might be able to make it through this. Gonna have to save our casts, though, basically for dealing with the fireball statues. This fight under control. The way they seem to shoot each other is a bit weird. Trying to position it so that we can hit both the... Nope. We can't hit both sides at the same time. Ow. Ick. Ow. Yeah, we have enough healing that we'll be okay. As long as we don't sit there and just get camped by their flash spell. Yep, we win. That was the boss? Easiest part of this entire dungeon, the stupid fucking Beyblade boss. Oh, we got both the diamond eyes. Now we can leave this hellhole behind. Yeah, I would say so. Now, I've got a very good question. How the hell did we get through that door? 1, how was it open? 2, how did we get across the gap if we couldn't get across the gap before, video game? God damn it. No, the maze did more than enough damage to me. Physically and mentally, I think. Which, don't get me wrong, I caused some of my own problems getting through that maze because I was rushing through it because I wanted to be done with it. But it's still not a great design. Just don't get me wrong with how I've been responding to this stuff. I am not opposed to games being obtuse, and I'm not opposed to games expecting you to make a stretch of logic to figure something out. But, like I said during Myst, you need to provide the player information to work with. You cannot expect them to make those assumptions blindly. At that point, you're just basically expecting people to guess. And sure, a little trial and error is okay now and then. But too much, too often, gets annoying. while I'm also willing to accept the fact that they were limited in what they could do, they've already proven that they can provide plenty of good enough hints in other sections that they could have easily made that just a little bit clearer to make it easy to understand instead of expecting you to just look at it and go, oh, this absolutely must be the answer with nothing to work with. And I acknowledge that I'm harping on about this a little bit too much, but I think it's a point that needs to be made. And part of it is the things I'm used to versus the things other people are used to. Like how I just made the immediate assumption that I could smash this open with the axe. Because I'm used to games giving me weapons that then do something new. And we also had that other war. Ah, Drac. I'm glad to see that you're still alive. Have you found the diamond eyes? Hi, Horace. Yeah, I've got them right here. Ignoring the fact that you're now wearing a completely different color and look a lot creepier. I must have them. Give them to me. Okay. Go. Give away diamond eyes. They're mine. They're mine. The diamond eyes are mine. Wahahaha. This guy's a loony, like Metalhead McGovern and Lunky Monkey. Come on, Bear, let's follow him. I think he's gone off the deep end. Hi. Not so fast, kid. But our boss wants you to stay where you are. Saying is he wants you to get Fireball. Flash is level 7. Jesus. Fireball is 2. Yeah. Especially when you consider just how normal and laid back the other version of him was. That was easy, but I think we've got a tough battle ahead. I don't think that guy who took the diamond eyes was Horace at all. He looked pretty suspicious. Then why did you give them to him? Well, that's an image I'm not going to be able to get out of my head now. That kind of brain and that brawn together is horrifying. I bet he's planning to use those diamonds for something devious. He's probably going to the city on the other end of the desert. That's a bit of a jump, but you're right. See, it's dialogue like that that makes me annoyed when they do leaps without giving you any means of coming along for the ride. Kind of logic there. Is they did not have to at all say, hey, he probably went to Nobilia. Because of course we know he went to fucking Nobilia. Is where the fuck else would he go? No, Roots. Hey, man. Hey, how'd you even get in here, kid? What happened to the barrier? I hit it with my axe. So you did. That's the bronze axe you have there. You've been in the Great Pyramid. You're quite the explorer. You know what you need? You need the drain formula. Yes, you're right. I do need that. I see these words of steel HP, and I'm like, yes, give me that. Atlas, go fuck yourself. Give me this. Just mix 1 part ethanol with 2 parts roots. You'll drain hit points from your enemies and give them to yourself. You like to purchase ingredients? You don't sell the ingredient. Oh, there we go. You sell the ingredients for your own spell. I'll just buy a bunch of ethanol since I'm carrying around a bunch of money. Tap out on roots because I need that for both heal and drain. Get some more water because we were going to start running low on that soon. Okay, I think we're good. We have like 90 of a lot of things. There we go. See how Drain works out for us. Wasn't that great for them? Ew. That's pretty weak. I think we're gonna have to train the shit out of that before it does anything. I mean, sure, we were double targeting with it, but 3 damage per target's still pretty sad. Hardball did more damage. Steep for you. The question is, will things have changed here? Nope. They're all still saying the same stuff. Likely that the rest of them are going to say the same, too. Spent most of our money. Still have a decent amount. There might be a few things I can grab. I know I bought all the armor and everything already. Might be like some healing items and such I can snag. Of course, went to the wrong one because I keep reversing which one's which. Specifically, we can grab a bunch of dog biscuits to dog in the fights. Oh right, they don't sell petals here. Grab a couple essences though. Give me one moment and I'm gonna go turn the AC on a bit higher because it is still kind of miserable in here. That is not gonna help my mood across this whole idea. Bear with me one moment. Okay, now with water and better temperature control full set, we shouldn't be dying the entire time I'm sitting here anymore. It bumped the mic down a little too far. There we go. That should be better. We don't have the money for an Amulet of Annihilation, so we're gonna have to walk across the desert. That's okay. Desert really ain't that bad to walk across. I did look at a better way of finding the alchemist that knows Sting. So since we have to go back anyway, we can find that. Didn't already pick up, that might be worth it. Get a bit more limestone for Crush. Crush is fun. Not really the best spell, but it's nope. It's free. Mostly just wanted to come back to this spot where Blimp is to save. Once again, forgotten who heals where, though. I thought he would also heal me. But that's okay, because we have a ridiculous amount of healing power and a ridiculous stockpile of healing resources now. So apparently, according to the wiki, if I run up and right from this oasis until I hit another oasis, we should then be able to go north and find it. I'm gonna trek dead up and right. Hit an oasis, and now we go up. Somewhere along the way up should be another oasis with that guy at. Because after our searching before, I realized there's not really a reasonable way I was going to find him. Short of a lot of searching on my own. It's a hot one out today, isn't it? And the bad bugs are out too. But you needed some help, and I'm prepared to give it to you. This is a formula called Sting. It'll give you an edge over nasty creatures. So now we have the ability to summon bees. And I don't think we need Revealer anymore, so I'm going to get rid of it for Sting. 1 part vinegar, 2 parts water. Anything else to offer that you're using your alchemy for as well? Would you like to change any of that? Very good. Find out how well Sting does. Oh, my bees! Okay. Not really impressing me. I'm assuming it's a matter of it's a guaranteed hit because it's not a projectile spell. That's probably why they were saying it was one of the best ones. And once it's trained up, it probably does do a good amount of damage. But personally, I think I'm going to stick with my fire spells because I've already got them trained up pretty well and the resources for them are plentiful. If I encounter a situation where I have to switch spells, that's honestly fine because I can just grind up the resources to cast it as many times as I goddamn please. So it's not really an issue, as long as I don't get, like, locked in a position where I can't grind. Which does not seem too likely. Add another... Oh yeah, we've been gaining levels. We've also dealt with 2 bosses already, as they were both shockingly easy to get rid of. We retrieved the diamond eyes for the quest we needed to do. Gave them to a very suspicious-looking version of the guy we were talking to at the camp. Because our character's an idiot. And now we're running back to Nobilia to chase after him because we've figured out right afterwards that he's evil and we should probably go stop that. So yeah, a lot has happened in an hour. You also missed me getting aggravated with that pyramid again. Because that pyramid sucks. Nobody's in town. That seems odd. We're a little too late, Bear. He's already standing here being creepy. I will now command the ancient world with the supreme power. For I have the diamond eyes of the sacred dog statue. That guy takes himself way too seriously. Like Emperor Zorn in Acropolis Apocalypse. The question is, though, all those triangles together either would be more powerful, or they would overwhelm themselves and not be good for anything. I'd go either way on that. Let the menacing begin. Okay. True. Also, the fuck is this? Untargetable, that's what it is. Evil dog. Oh yeah, it's straight up just called Bad Dog. Okay, fair enough. So what you're saying is the square is the only one with any sense. Okay? Ah, okay, I see how this is going to go. We kill bad dogs until the thing goes down. We hit it a bunch. Wash, rinse, repeat until fight over. Got it. This is not really going to be an impressive fight. We'll give the bad dogs credit. They hit pretty hard. My dog has definitely fallen behind because of the fact that he spent a lot of time not able to do much. There was a moment of vulnerability there. I did get a hit in. Don't get me wrong, I'm sure this fight is seeming a lot easier because our Flash is over-leveled. Because it has reached level 7, whereas everything else is like 2. When they provide me a really decent fire spell with cheap ingredients, of course it's going to get over-leveled to hell. Just like how my heal spell's level to ridiculous at this point because it's cheap and easy to make. So I just kept making it. Now, since this doesn't do the burning animation, I can just spam these on him. Oh, now he's got a different face. This face do. It summons annoying buzzards. Hooray. Die. No more of that, please. No. No, no, no. No, no, no. Unacceptable. We are going to accelerate the rate at which we are burning this thing to death now because it is becoming upsetting. Had enough problems with those buzzards in the pyramid, knocking me all around. We are not gonna have these things be a pain here too. They're gonna be good crush practice though. We are getting a little low on Flash, since I've just been hurling it at him with abandon. He's got the moon again. Gonna be summoning bad dogs. Oh no, it's evil dog. Rush. Oh, look at you, summoning 2 at a time now. Yeah, the reason why Flash got as out of hand as it has is the fact that they gave it to us at the very beginning of the game. Being at the very beginning and it having cheap ingredients just means it's way too easy for it to just get completely out of hand. I would not be surprised if, once I train up Fireball, it'll be better than Flash. But it's more expensive to cast. And there we go. Aegis defeated. Why is my axe green? Whoa, that guy was a serious head case. God. Bye. Hey, it's the real Horus. Good work, Drac. You saved our world from that terrible villain. He was my evil twin, and a robot of some sort, I suspect. Where does the robot part come in? I'm glad we could help, Horus. The statue's energy core looks like it could explode at any moment. We should remove it, just in case. Tiny, come here. We need your strength. I am Tiny the Barbarian. My strength is needed. We need you to throw this energy core as far as you can from the city before it explodes. Can you do it, Tiny? I am Tiny the Barbarian. I am very strong. I can throw anything. Step aside. That felt good. Hopefully that didn't blow up anything important. That guy has a pretty good arm. Yes, and his heart is in the right place too. I just hope that his incredible strength doesn't go to his head. So, I suppose Bear and I could get to Podunk from here. I'd like to know that myself. I'm not sure. Horus, we have important news from the camp. Oh, hello, Madronius, what is it? Explosive hit just north of the camp and opened an entrance to a very large tunnel. This tunnel may lead to unexplored territories of Evermore. A hidden tunnel. Very interesting indeed. Thank you for the news, Madronius. This could be your answer, Drac. Passage to Podunk could start on the other end of that tunnel. Well, it's worth a try. Before you leave, let me help you. Please take this Staff of Life. Increase your ability to defend against enemy attacks. Ba-da-da-da. Thanks, Horus. Go, Bear. You know, let's not, like, send soldiers with me or send Tiny, who has immense strength or anything, along for the ride. Or go with me yourself. Let's just send the kid from Podunk off into random unexplored tunnel number 67. Is what could possibly go wrong. You know, the tunnel that could easily be unstable because the fucking thing just got blown open. You know, we never did resolve the creepy leader guy situation either. Which it's safe to assume that creepy leader man who never showed his face was the evil twin. But I was expecting there to be like a reveal for that or something. I'm guessing that's a loose end that's still not really been resolved yet. But I guess let's go back to Horus's camp. On the other end of everything from where we are now. And go find out what happened with that tunnel. And let's not at all be concerned about the obvious foreshadowing of, oh gee, I hope Tiny doesn't turn out to be evil or anything. You know, he's just a big dumb muscle guy. How could he possibly also be working for the bad guy? Ignoring the fact that that might also, you know, explain how he's gotten super strong. In a world full of people who are nowhere near that strong. And I'm not saying that because I know that. I'm saying that because I'm betting that's going to be a plotline that's gonna happen. Because the writing is really heavily on the wall for that one. They may as well have just taken one of those stone pillars and just written, "Tiny will betray you" on it. At that point, all that's left is for Tiny to throw that pillar at me later. Goddamn spiders. We are gonna have to restock again on resources, but that's okay. We are starting to roll in money enough that that does not matter at all. We have got some money from that fight. How much do we have? 2,000. Yep, that's probably enough to get all the flashes back. And we didn't really use much else aside from just throwing 1,000 flashes, so... This is fine. Thing is fine. Here, so we still keep right on going. Because the convenient thing about touching that and being healed is it also revives the dog. Saves me like 40 jewels. Realistically, it'd be more than that. Don't need your services, sir. Considering your services only saved me like 5 minutes of walking, I really couldn't care. Limp, did you hear any of that? Nope, you don't care. You have nothing to do with any of that happening. Considering we mostly just need to replace the oil we used. There we go. We now have all the casts of flash we can handle it. Get a couple of casts of crush then. We'll go on that. That's for hardball, so it doesn't matter. And we're good. Let's record my progress so I don't have to do that fight again. Even though it wasn't a very hard fight, it saves me a lot of walking. I'm not gonna bother dealing with anything in town because it's probably not gonna do anything. Considering getting the diamond eyes did. In with this guy though, see if he has anything to say. Hey, you saved us from our corrupt, depraved, and dishonest former leader. Good job. Please take this powerful double drain formula with my thanks. So no sooner did we get drain that we now have double drain. Okay. Expensive is double drain. So it costs vinegar now instead of roots. And it costs twice the ethanol. That's probably fine, and it's probably a lot better. Because drain kind of sucks. Buy a bit more ethanol. The fact that it costs water just like my heal does is a bit of a problem. But I think as long as it does a decent amount of damage, it'll probably be worth it. Let's test that out, shall we? Double drain. Oh, wow. That's still pretty bad. I have concerns. Specifically, I have great concerns that Double Drain is going to be useless. Wait. Can I not cast it anymore? Right, it needed vinegar. And we didn't have much vinegar. Well, we just wasted all of that. Oh well. Considering it's a not even 10 damage spell, I find myself very ambivalent towards whether I can use it or not. Because if it starts out at only, like, 7 damage, even if I grind the hell out of that, I don't know if it'll ever actually be worth the vinegar it costs. Because we haven't found a place where we can buy vinegar that I can think of. The wrong way. I'm assuming we need to actually go to the camp. There, they'll be like, hey, it was over there. Oh, okay. I saw a PayPal notification about having made a payment to something, so I'm like, wait, what? I think I see where we're going. So I don't think this was here before. Still doing your spiel about resting. Go ahead and save here before we progress further. I presume Madronius is not here. Either ahead or back at town. That's the weird thing with this game so far, is the pacing on it. It moves along really fast sometimes, and stutters down to a halt real hard at other times. If they could have just kept decent pacing the whole way, this probably would feel significantly better. I freely admit that part of that's on me, because of issues I've had with some of the dungeons. I'm going to assume that's what we needed to do. Considering I didn't really see anywhere else to go. This thing. Got some weird troglodytes. Oglet. Okay? Perish. I think I've made my flash too strong. Even new enemies are just dying. Oh, I really hope we didn't need Revealer here. Because, I don't have it. Oh wait, there we go. Teleporter. Where this teleporter goes, and say. Goes to more Oglins. That's where it goes. You know, when I was talking about teleporter mazes in the pyramid, that was not your cue to use one, game. Better not be an actual teleport maze. It will be very cross. It looks like it's just a straightforward series of teleporters to get where we're. I'm not upset. I could still get there. This game is quite good at upsetting me. I could easily get there. Trust this. Now that we've discovered that that sometimes is a thing I need to do. You see, now I'm going to be on the lookout for that. I might die because I just got distracted by a graphical glitch. Once these guys are gone, I'm going to try to replicate that because that was weird. No, look like it's gonna happen again. Okay. Because I had like this brightly lit section right above us. Been here before. Fuck's sake. Die. Push me the way I need to go. It's the way I'm trying to go. Leads nowhere! Hooray! I swear if I need Revealer, I'm stuck down here and have to load, I'm gonna be very cross. This looks different. Are we now? I didn't mean to step on that second teleporter, I just kind of landed on it in the dark. This looks like where we came in. I walked down a bit and landed on a teleporter. So those might not actually be useful teleporters. I think they might be intended to make you end up having to backtrack. I'm gonna try avoiding all teleporters and seeing how far we can. I feel like we've gone in a circle. Impossible to tell, considering we can barely goddamn see anything. Yeah, no, we've definitely gone in a circle. I'm glad. So that means, A, one of those teleporters we avoided actually leads somewhere. Or B, there's a path we can't see, because everything's goddamn dark, that we need to be taking. It's been a bit since one of those happened. But, perish. Goddamn you-selling bastard. I was really starting to hope that I was past that situation, and those weren't going to keep happening. But apparently, the bots never got the hint that they shouldn't be here. Let's be real, if somebody was going to use a service like that, certainly wouldn't use one that's being advertised in their chat and give away the fact that they're doing it. What kind of idiot do they think is going to buy that? Don't answer that, because there's plenty of idiots like that out there. Honestly, the most disappointing part about that. I called it out right before you finished typing it, didn't I? Uh-huh. Totally innocent, yes. Don't worry, I believe you. That led back. That's the other one. I go back in that. Okay, they do connect to each other. This one should take me back out to the other section. Okay. I'm getting this sneaking suspicion it would be in my best interest to go find a map so we're not here for the next hour. And yes, I know that takes some of the fun out of it, but I think for everyone's sanity involved, this is a better idea. Is me running around in circles in the dark is going to only be funny for the first like 20 minutes of it, and then it's going to start getting really sad for everyone involved. Or, there's just not going to be a map. There we go. I think I found, yeah. Oh boy. Yeah, I'm glad I'm looking at a map for this because this place sucks. This place sucks a lot. Is there's genuinely like 2 teleporters that matter out of this entire place, and the entire rest of them are just there to fuck with you. This place would be super tedious. Now, the biggest issue I'm gonna have is I'm not 100% sure where I am. Let me try something. Yeah, that's what I was afraid of. Wings won't work in here because it's not technically a dungeon. And they don't want you just being able to wing out of here. Yeah, I think I'm currently looking at teleporter C. No. That was blatantly incorrect. The unfortunate thing is I can't guarantee what teleporters I'm looking at. But I think I found the one we need. Yes. Okay, we're on the right track. Ignore that one, because that one's a trap. Instead, this fucking guy out of my way. Now, mind you, you may be thinking this takes all the fun out of a section like this, but I contend that there wasn't any fun in this section to begin with. And you also gotta understand that this map I'm working with does not give me all of the answers. So I had to figure out the locations I was in and all of that on my own anyway. Because this is just a bunch of pictures somebody drew. It wasn't like an actual map of the zone. But now that I'm here, I'm going to close all of that again so that I'm not tempted to peek at anything I shouldn't. Oh, this seems like kinds of... Which is why we burn it. Aqua, huh? I feel like there's jokes I could make here, but at the same time, most of them are falling flat in my head. They're already falling flat before I even say them. It's probably not worth voicing them. Oh, I guess a thing was supposed to happen, and then it died before it was supposed to happen. Well. So I'm guessing the fight was supposed to get harder by Oglin showing up. Hey kid, get in the bucket. Yeah, this seems like a great idea. Let's just believe the mysterious voice above me telling me to get in the bucket. Hi, you look different from everybody I've seen so far. I was wondering why my water supply kept drying up. That creature must have been the cause of it. It's a good thing you were down there to fight it off. We get to the bottom of my well anyway. My dog and I were following this underground path. It's really dark down there, and a bunch of little guys with cloaks. You must have seen the Oglins. They're a crafty bunch, they are. They say that the Oglins have 2 heads and sharp claws like knives. Well, I don't know if that's completely true, but say, could you pull that bucket for my dog? He's still down there. Sure thing. Hey Bear, get in the bucket. Well, that's a change. Whoa, I was expecting another change, but I wasn't expecting this. You're a poodle. And a fine poodle he is too. So, where are we? Oh, you're just south of Ivor Tower at the Queen's new castle. If you're looking for answers, the Queen's the one to see. If you'd like me to record your progress, because I, for some reason, somehow know you need that. See you later. I'm gonna go back to playing with his well. So, I guess we've ended up in some kind of medieval era now. With hedgehog knights. Okay, sure. Edgadillos. Sure, that's what you would call that, yeah. The fucking world we're wandering through. Thankfully, everything burns the same. I'd almost think we wandered into Alice in Wonderland. Hey kid, welcome to the town of Ivor Tower. The happiest place on Evermore. That's concerning. I can offer fine crafted beads to you at the incredible price of 15 gold coins each. Make a purchase? No. So we're gonna do commerce again, huh? Okay. Good for trading and cooking. My spices are only 12 coins per jar. You like some? No. I wonder if I still have all the spices and shit I bought in the last place. The merchants here in this market offer pretty good prices. Be able to satisfy all your shopping needs. You've not seen anything until you've seen Percival Blank's exhibition of oddity. Ticket to this entertainment spectacle will set you back one amulet annihilation. Why does everybody want these damn amulets of annihilation? I don't have one. I provide gold coins in exchange for other types of money. Would you like to exchange currencies? I have 3,933 coins as soon as I enter this nation. Excellent. The Oracle Bones can make people say what they would otherwise not say. The person who possesses it will hear many important secrets. It can be yours for a golden jackal statue and a jeweled scarab. Maybe some other time. Doug's cloak in your nation, even you will be able to evade attacks more successfully. I'll trade it to you for 8 bottles of perfume and 6 beads. You will absolutely love this beautifully scented perfume. I can give it to you for only 2 jars of spice per bottle. What do you say? Oh. I'm gonna run out of voices for all these damn people. Not long ago, the Queen had Ivor Tower built from Ebon Keep. Most of the citizens followed. The Queen promised comfort and happiness for all. I think the others went because of the free food and drink. Probably right about that. Have you come to the pig race? It's the festival's big event. The owner of the winning pig will be invited to the big feast with the Queen. Okay? Big into pigs around. Got it. All of the people here used to live in Ebon Keep. Moved here when the Queen built Ivor Tower. I hear some people still live in the old town. The Queen's not very happy about that. What's in the old town that she doesn't want people to see? The giant chessboard. Sight to see. The pieces used to move all by themselves. Some time ago, stopped. Acorns. Coins. Patronage people, I'm taking things goodbye. There's gonna be a pig race on the west side of town. I like pigs, especially fast ones. People wouldn't like fast pigs because they're harder to eat. Huh. Mother went into the new castle once. She said it's real big and spotless. Cleanliness again. Queen has been beastly. Sort of sickeningly sweet. And the king's been gone. I can't figure out these royals. I mean, maybe she's just happy that the king's gone. Maybe he's a dick. I don't know. Welcome to Ivor Tower, you. We're very happy here. Queen likes it that way. You're not from Ivor Tower, are you? You can tell because of your strange garb. Please feel free to take items from our treasure chests. You'll need them for your journey. You guys, and you're giving away the shit you have in boxes. Very concerning. I am going to enjoy it, but I'm very confused by it. Read that one. The ravine has many a monster. You must be well equipped to travel. How do you like our town? Clean and festive, huh? That's the way our queen likes it. I think I've repeated an accent by now. Heard stories of a strange old man in the northern part of the ravine. Say he's building a tower to the sky. Crazy, huh? Yeah, I've been trying to add variety to some of these by mixing 2 or 3 together in sentence, but I don't know how well that's been working. Also, for how happy a place this is, this gargoyle is incredibly concerning. But I also really like it. Results? Big pig race is gonna happen. The big pig race will be happening soon as a town tradition. Can a town have a tradition when it hasn't been a town for very long? Have you seen the exhibition of oddities in the west side of town? It's entertaining and amusing. Call it the feel-good exhibition of the year. Good to know. My father took me to the exhibition on the west side of town. It's creepy, but cool. Tell if those kids are male. Kind of throwing a mid-range voice and crossing my fingers. Queen has always been kind as long as I can remember. She's still nice, but in a fakey kind of way. I want to talk to the other one. No one goes out onto the chessboard between the castles anymore. I heard that there's a trapdoor that leads to the floor of the ravine. Interesting. So I'm gonna want to go to that chessboard. I'm apparently gonna be very interested in something in that ravine. You should be prepared if you plan to venture beyond our town. They say that the ravine is populated by dragons. I'll be right at home there. Why didn't you just tell me that in the first place? Now I'm all about it. Let me guess. You sell weapons. I sell the finest armor in town. I will not find a better deal anywhere else. I do. Sell everything but weapons. Fair play. I think we can actually afford the entire set here. Yep. And have money to spare, because we are just too fucking rich at this point. That's a difference. Jesus. We're going from 19 armor to 40. I feel like I missed a suit of armor somewhere. Which is doubly odd since a lot of the stuff we've been fighting hasn't hurt us that much. Okay, maybe we're not meant to be buying this armor right now. Maybe we were supposed to see it, not be able to afford it, and come back, but I'm just rolling in so much money that the game's just not sure what to do with that. 86 armor. Hey, what happened to the spike collar that I bought for? That's weird. Oh well. Sell him all of the other junk. So why can't all the armor be in a single radio menu like this normally? Why did you have to have it separated on all other menus except when you're selling it? Weird. In 40's not that bad. I'll go ahead and pay that just so I can save here. Also, hindsight's 2020. Of course he doesn't sell weapons. We unlock those by finding them. Brain. Because you just get so used to buying weapons in these kind of games. Horse armor is the only thing that people are selling. The question is there gonna be an alchemy shop around here? Not long ago, all of us moved from Ebon Keep to this new town. The Queen wanted a place that was cleaner and more controlled. Yeah, that's really sounding like an evil twin. The Queen's trying very hard to keep everybody happy, but it seems like something's missing. I'm going to the pig race. It's going to be on the west side of town. I like pigs. For you. Older brother Lance went to the forest at the bottom of the ravine once. He said it was dark and creepy. I'm going there when I'm as old as him. Why? Did he say there was treasure there? Is there a purpose for going there? My husband Lance travels all around the kingdom and collects valuable treasures. He's very protective of his finds, and he doesn't like for anyone to touch them. He keeps them in treasure chests upstairs. So what you're saying is I'm going to go touch the treasure chests. Because they're treasure chests. And no one's home to stop me. Gold-plated vest, amulet of annihilation. Welp. Of course we find immediately better armor. As soon as we bought armor. Because of course we did. I'm not going to put it on just yet, though, because I feel like there might be a thing that happens if I'm wearing it around here. Is he'll be like, hey, that's my armor. You seen our giant chessboard? It's on the plateau in the ravine between Ebon Keep and our new castle, Ivory Tower. You know, they just keep pointing out the whole ebony and ivory thing, too. Just gonna nudge that a bit, in case people miss that. There's black and white chessboard, ebony and ivory towns. I feel like there's gonna be a thing. You seen the chessboard between the old castle and the new one? He said that the pieces used to move by themselves. Moved here from Ebon Keep, went through the chessboard hedge maze. Got to the end before both my brothers. Phew. We're the biggest and richest family in town. This is our new place. Pretty nice, huh? You're welcome to the items in our treasure chests if you use them for your journey. I mean, you're rich. It at least makes sense that you're giving crap away. Jesus. All hail his majesty. Me. You may grovel in my presence. Perish. My husband has a king complex. Not really the king, he's just a plumber. The true king of our land hasn't made a public appearance in quite some time. Because he's probably dead. I heard that the real king watches some strange puppet show all day. That's why we haven't seen him in a while. Well, that's concerning. You guys haven't, like, thought to check on that or anything? Or ask questions about why your king spends his whole life watching a puppet show? You've been to the ravine below the chessboard? It's full of dragons. I'm going there and explore when I'm older. Good for you. You realize you're gonna get eaten by dragons, right? No? Okay. Carry on. There's a group of mysterious creatures that lurk below the surface. They're called Oglins. Yeah, I met them. They're not very nice. They stab you with spears. My brother once saw one, and he said that it was 7 feet tall with red eyes and big claws. No, I think he saw a dragon. And he's saying it's an Oglin. It's got his monsters mixed up. He needs to reread the manual. You're not allowed in the castle. Only the queen and other important people may. I make sure that nobody's like you stay away. Just like a random peasant would do. I could just knock you over the head with this axe and that would be the end of it. Just remember that. Just keep that in mind. Only the fact that I can't draw my axe in town that keeps you alive. So we've walked this entire town, stolen some really nice armor, bought some other armor, and it feels like this place has been otherwise pointless. Aside from mildly wrecking my throat, voicing every single goddamn person in this city. Is in spite of the fact that I said before I wasn't going to keep doing that, I apparently decided to do it again. Which I say, hopefully it was worth it. Guess we're just gonna go back out of town now and see if we can find our way to either that chessboard or that ravine or anything other than this town. Assuming that right there is the ravine. Unless there was like an upper path out of town that I didn't see. Considering the castle's there, I would assume we'd either have to like go way out of our way around or go elsewhere. Yeah, with the well. I don't happen to have anything else to say, dude. Just saying go talk to the queen. We can't go talk to the queen because we can't get into the castle. We don't have a pig, so we can't do the pig race. Wait, no, I'm an idiot. Well, there's one very specific thing we can do now, because I found an Amulet of Annihilation. That's more than likely what we need to do. We need to go buy a ticket to that exhibition of oddities. North end of the alley to the west. Shopping's good in the south part of town, but you get the best deals in the alley. Probably because all of it's stolen. Have you seen the exhibit at the north end of the street? It's both entertaining and thought-provoking. Pig race is about to happen. I want to get a good view of the action. Queen has been acting very strange lately, since we moved to this town. I feel very nice. I don't know if she means it anymore. The puppet. I saw the show in the wagons at the north end of the street. Kinda creepy, but fun. Seen the king lately? Been out of the public eye ever since we moved to Ivor Tower. You ever seen an Oglin? They were scary, alright. A lot more scary than anything you'll see at that show up the street. Leave that when I see it. I'm gonna go get a good place to stand for the big pig race. It's gonna be fast and muddy. That does sound like pigs and races. You gonna stay for the pig race? I am. Big event festival. Did you see that show up north? Downright weird. I'm trying to get there, but I have to talk to all of you alone. Hi, I'm Sylvia, beardless woman. I'm on my break. If you don't mind, I'd like to be left alone. That's fair. Come one, come all! Percival Plank's exhibition of cultural oddities. Witness inconceivable deviations from the natural laws. Experience true horror, true terror, true spine-tingling absurdity. Believe the unbelievable. Right this way. Come one, come all. Hey kid, would you like to see the exhibit? Have you got a ticket? Step right up. Sorry, Pooch. No dogs are allowed in the exhibition. Stay right here, Bear. Back in a few minutes. Ow. That's probably a problem. Stop right there, Mutt. You're coming with me. The first stop in our tour of oddities will make you ponder the principles of our existence. How, you will ask, can such a creature live and breathe? There's no answer to your query. It's simply a truth in the shape of Mr. Head, the man with no body. I have an itch on my nose. You're uncomfortable. Weird. This next exhibit comes to us from the Far East via the Midwest with a stopover in Nantucket. It is fantastic, freakish, and full of cheese-producing goodness. I give you the one-horned beauty of the Unigoat. That's just a horn tied onto a goat's head. Isn't she amazing? Please do not touch the horn. Follow me. Follow me, there is much more to see. Our next exhibit is not for the squeamish or for the faint of heart. This disgusting, vile, gruesome beast will give you sensations of horror and repugnance. It has fangs the size of a human femur. Its body is covered in fur from head to toe. Oh, its eyes are so hypnotic that staring into them could make you spiral into a sea of madness. This is the terror that is Mongola. Bear. I don't believe it. Mongola has escaped. I would be very careful if I were you, my friend. It could appear around any corner. Even this one? Maybe it ate the next exhibit. Our last exhibit is our most recent addition to the show. You will not believe your eyes when you see this rare combination of species. I present to you, for the first time ever, the fabulous, unbelievable Pig Poodle! Wait a minute. Bear, is that you? I know that you're going through some changes, but this is ridiculous. Where you going, Bear? I guess if I were a poodle with a head of a pig, I'd run too. Maybe it'd be better if we started with as a pig and dressed like a poodle. Hi. Ladies and gentlemen, the pig race is about to begin! Ah, that's how we get involved in the pig race. Truffle Trouble is leading the pack. Wait, a new entry is tearing up the track. Look at that pig go! We have a winner! Who owns this pig? I guess that would be me. We're just staring at it. You, sir, will be the guest of honor at the Queen's banquet tonight. Congratulations. Well, Barrett's. Looks like you did something right for a change. You can ask the Queen if she knows how to get back to Podunk. You know, this all would have been very clever if any of this was planned. The winner of the pig race is here to meet the Queen. I had a week's pay bet on Truffle Trouble. Go on in before I change my mind. Told you I'd get in here, sucker. Yeah, let's just pull out our axe for meeting the Queen. That seems like it's gonna work out great. Bear, where'd you run off to? Doesn't get in too much trouble. I feel very out of place here. Honored guests and assorted rabble, may I have your attention, please? Dinner will begin once Her Majesty arrives. Wow, some fancy castle. I've heard that Flem the Fancy did the decorating. His use of tapestries is simply to die for. You should see his custom bookcases in the study in the East Wing. He even used gold paint on their backsides. Gorgeous, Flem has such taste. Everyone, please be seated. The Queen is about to arrive. People of Ivor Tower, distinguished guests, I present to you Her Majesty, the Queen! Jesus Christ. Thank you all so much for attending. We hope everyone has had a wonderful time. Who do we have here? This young man is Drac, the owner of the winning pig yours. A great pleasure to meet you, Mr. Drac. You may call me Queen Blueguard. Hi. I haven't seen my dog, or pig dog, have you? I followed me into the castle, and then he just disappeared. Oh boy. Say goodnight, my little piggy. You will be my masterpiece at the Queen's dinner. You're not a very pretty piggy, are you? Sacre bleu, you're not a pig. Whatever you are, Pierce, shall make you tasty. Come to Pierre, you son of a motherless rodent. That's gonna be a no from me, Chief. Should have assumed he was going to be your stereotypical French chef. But once I kind of started on that line of thought, I had to stick with it. Yeah, it's looking like this is going to be another maze. Might have been a rather short-lived one. I would assume there's going to be another section of it. Can't open boxes. It's like going in this part a whole lot of nowhere. Maybe there's more maze to that than I thought. What has me mildly concerned is the fact that it makes an eating noise when I fall into the vents. The castle eating. Yeah, I can go that way. There's other directions I can go. It's gonna lead to something important. Other's gonna lead. Or rather, one's probably gonna lead to something I need, and one's gonna lead me to somewhere I need to go. Or they are gonna both lead to incredibly similar looking places. I feel like there's gonna be something missable here, so I'm gonna save state so we don't miss it. I just have this sneaking suspicion that this is the kind of place where they're gonna give you some crazy item that you need somewhere else along the way. Okay, it's looking like we need to go out here and then go up to this one, because those two are connected to each other. Still can't open boxes. Not sure what the point to getting here is. So, apparently can't... Oh, there we go. I was trying to remember how to sniff, in case that was necessary for him to open boxes. But it's looking like that's not what I needed to do. So I'm gonna have to err on the side of I can't open boxes. Which makes sense. Dogs are not really known for their box opening. So I would like to point out something that really flies in the face of the whole medieval atmosphere here. They have indoor plumbing. About that don't add up. Oh boy, we got options here. I'm more than likely gonna have one correct answer and one more correct answer. I always still have the capacity to go backwards. Continue my theory. They were somewhere. Found a hidden vent. Okay. I'm finding a lot of boxes. None of which can be opened by a dog. So, as usual, I'm on the right track for finding all the treasure. I can't do a damn thing with it. I wander around. Would not be surprised if my goal is to get found by somebody. I get brought to the dinner. Wait, I'm on auto... Nope, I'm not on autopilot anymore. Automatically walked forward for a moment. Wait, something happened. Huh. Connected to somewhere I've been already. Okay. Found something. What exactly I found? An invisible maze, so presumably it leads to something important. Hi. Hello, little one. I don't get many visitors down here. This key around your neck will help in the castle. Oh, my bursitis. Now where's my tonic? Hmm. Oh, but you're a furry little boy. Your mother must be worried. Now run along. She's just looping. She mentioned we have a key. Assume that's important. And I would not be at all surprised if that key only exists because we had that dialogue. Now, getting back out of here is going to be a whole other thing. There we go. The path out was a lot shorter than the path in, which is not shocking, but very strange. I feel like we've been through both those vents already, so I'm gonna go back into the one we were in and go check the... I keep finding storeroom after storeroom. Is for some reason this place has like 50 storage rooms. Which I guess it's a castle. It makes sense that it would have a lot of storage. I feel like I've gone backwards. Meep, meep. Hey, Schiefer. Welcome to me being lost in some pipes. May or may not find the way to progress anytime this century. Now, I'm going to try to figure this out on my own, but if we take a while, I'll probably just pull up a map like I've done for the last couple times we've had issues. But I would assume that our intended exit is somewhere near where we found the lady. Now, we already were in that. Pretty sure we came up into this section from the middle one before. Not really sure where the hell we need to be. I would assume it's somewhere further to the left since we saw the guy wandering around over there. Probably need to, like, pop out of a vent and spook him. Cause something else to happen. seems like a self-contained circuit here. This just leads to that one air vent. This game really likes its mazes. And I can't say I agree. Because mind you, I don't hate mazes. I don't have any problem with mazes. But I do not like mazes like this, where 90% of it is dark, and you have no means of really feasibly figuring out which way is which. So it all ends up looking really samey, and can't start framing it out at all. That said, I am starting to get a picture of some of it in my head, but not enough of it. Now we're back here. Problem is, I don't have enough of a frame of reference for what my goal is in this maze. But for all I know, we might be in the wrong section entirely, and we need to go back now that we've gotten the key. Assuming we need to get out into like that main hall there by some means. We just need to find the door that's open to us to get there. This, I believe, is where we started back here. We were running from the chef. Chef is gone. Presumably he's going out the door to go look for us. It's still so concerning that the vents make a goddamn munch noise when you fall in them. Another vent attached to this. So carry on from this section here. We went through the one down here. This is what led to the window. I'm pretty sure the other one available leads to just the other window. This section's a dead end. Let's narrowed this out. We don't need to think about over here anymore. Over here's useless. Dead to us. Actually, go through that doorway to my right. Just in case it was the stupid answer of I just took a wrong turn at the very beginning and then all things went stupid from there. Self-contained and useless. So. Back in the bedchamber section. I'm assuming the one behind the bookcase is the key to this whole thing. Why I went straight back to that one is where it was. Yeah, this seems different. This might be the way. This is certainly a way. Bingo. Once I actually sat down and started thinking about it instead of just running around, I That worked itself out a lot neater than it seemed. So, tell me, Mr. Drac, what do you think of my new castle? I like it. Really clean, immaculate, spotless, without flaw. Yeah, sure. Guess. Well, it's past time for the main dish, don't you think? I run a tight ship here, and I don't like to wait. What could be taking so long? Where's my meal? This is an outrage! Who is responsible for this filthy beast? Names, I want names! That would be me. Make a mockery of my banquet, will you? Well, we'll see how you feel after a night in the dungeon. Guards! Take these mockers away. Wait, the men with the floofy hats are your guards? Okay, buddy. Had your fun? No, I've seen your type before. You start by messing up your room and wind up years later messing up banquets. Your furry friend, he looks like a real troublemaker. Come along now. Would you like to record your progress? I'd rather call a lawyer. Now, I'm going to assume that's going to mean I can't actually save the game, so I'm going to save state before I do this. I'm curious to see if this actually leads to any unique dialogue. Nope, it just leads to the dungeon. Okay, boys, welcome to your new home. Get in there. Get yourselves comfy. You're gonna be here a long time. She just said a night, though. Huh. There, see if you can fit through this hole in the wall. And we are dog once more. No, it's really a bad dungeon. And boy, I'm glad to be out of that cell. Time to do violence upon people who really did nothing wrong. Release all of the prisoners. Oh god, I regret. Releasing the prisoners was a terrible choice. Want me dead too. How the hell did they put a Minotaur down here? For context, for those who weren't here for the Hall of Colossia, this was a mini-boss in basically not the last dungeon we were in, but the dungeon before it. So having this just suddenly showing up is a bit weird. Fine, we're just gonna mash it with Monty Python fists. Eventually it will die. I might also run out of fists. We'll see. There we go. Anything in here, or was that just for sake of you pushed a button, bad things happened? Oh great, another one. I'm so glad the same thing happened twice. Just enjoy the rain of fists. I was taking my time to save fists on the last one, but at this point I don't care. Just get pummeled by 1,000 fists, you bastard. Your only crime was being on the screen. There we go. He is very dead now. But Crush is level 3, so hooray. Now, more than likely, we're supposed to go back out the front door. Even though that seems like a terrible idea. Oh, wait, no, there's a down. Down might lead somewhere. Except, there's a lot of big doors that have me concerned. Oh. There's a Viper in there. Okay. So they've just got all the enemies of the past locked up down, I guess. That's mildly concerning. They've got these. That shouldn't be here. That very much should not be here. We last saw those before we got teleported to Evermore in the first place. Or rather, when we first got teleported to Evermore. It was after the explosion. That weird old scientist dude stuffed us in a garbage chute and tried to kill us with murder bots. Really begs the question why they have a murder bot in their dungeon. Why they don't just have it patrolling the halls. Oh. I'm going to guess this is an exit. Hopefully we didn't miss anything. Guess I can't go back. Oh, can't. Oh great, it's a fucking tube puzzle again. When the water's also nasty. Great. Great, I love it. You know, on the note of them having vipers around as well, isn't it just so odd that they happen to have the exact same pipes that were in the volcano? As if we didn't already have enough hints that something wasn't right here. Also, I just saw a chest, hoping that's not something important. I think we just left. Or not. Into the pipe, now that just there. Okay. Going this way. Wait, there's a man. You tell me things. Sewer man. Thank you very much for visiting this old man. He can teach you a powerful alchemy formula. Requires 1 mushroom and 3 parts water. Erosion, deadly shower. Okay. Double drain, go to hell. Erosion, get in. Biscuit to Colby. Hoping he'd sell ingredients. On the contrary, I'm running across the current the opposite direction. Definitely works out. Phew, I'm glad we're out of that sewer. Ugh, I agree, Bear. We're probably gonna stink for it. Oh no, a guard. Stay right where you are, little mister. Thought you could escape, didn't you? Well, I have orders that the Queen is waiting to see you. Come in with me. Yeah, or something. Why does the Queen want to see me suddenly after throwing me in the dungeon? You gonna just have me killed now? Or do you want to go up? Your Majesty, I've brought the prisoners as requested. Ah, Mr. Drac, so glad. So nice you could make it through the night. Didn't mean to react so harshly at the banquet. I just hate it when things don't go as planned. That's okay. Really sorry for the mess we made. Hoping maybe you'd help us find our way home? There'll be time for that later. This meeting is really about me, my needs. You may have heard that there's another castle in the kingdom. That castle, Ebon Keep, is a former hell filthy. That's why I had this castle built in the kingdom across the ravine. Few stragglers remain in the castle, and this annoys me to no end. I want to remove them, and you can help me do that. The entrance to Ebon Keep is on the other side of the chessboard plateau. The drawbridge on the other side is now up, locked. What I need you to do is go down into the ravine, come up the other side, and open the drawbridge from within. And my people will march across the ravine and take Ebon Keep by force. Can you do this for me, Mr. Drac? Yeah, sure. Yes. The best way to the ravine is the east wing of the castle, and down through a door in the chessboard. You'll find it when you get there. Okay. Gonna go serve an eviction notice. Well, Bear, it looks like we're off to Ebon Keep. Hey, put it around your neck. A key. I don't know where you got it, but I'll hang on to it for now. And that's where the key triggers that we found. Okay? So rather than obeying orders and going off to the chessboard, let's go sneak around in the vents for a bit. First, we gotta find a spot where we can access the vents. Here's the banquet room hooked up. Water. I'm assuming using this key is gonna allow us to get to all those boxes we saw along our way through the vents. Now, what I'm not sure about is whether we actually need to go through the fence or whether we can just open all the doors in the castle. Looking like we can just open doors. Acorns. Guess we got some, like, master key to the castle. It's iron. Still haven't seen a use for iron yet. Honey. Found something. Oh, I think this... Yeah, this leads back down to the dungeon. I guess if there was something you missed down here, you could go back down here whenever you want. I'm not too fussed about that right now, I don't think. Because at worst, we're missing, like, some armor down there or something. I would assume there wouldn't be 2 alchemists down there. We wouldn't be missing out on a formula. Now, our armor's already really good, I'd say. Speaking of, since we're already a criminal at this point, I may as well put on the stolen armor. We're mostly just getting alchemy ingredients around the castle. Don't get me wrong, I won't argue with getting more ingredients. I'm not sure it's worth running all over this castle a second time for. Don't get me wrong, I probably could just hop down the vents and find my way out that way. I'd rather not deal with the vents again. I'm really confused. Didn't we? There we go. I just couldn't quite find the door, I guess. Let's just get out of here at this point. Pretty sure we got most of the odds and ends in those chests. Now here's the cook room. Call it a kitchen, but that really doesn't look like much of a kitchen to me. Yes. Therefore, it is just a room Jay Cook resides. I am kind of lost. Work? Nope. Fuck. I was gonna try to fucking wing out of here just to not deal with this place. I have definitely gotten myself a bit turned around in here. It really doesn't help that they did not give you a chance to actually walk around this place at all. They just warped you to where they needed you to be. Back in the kitchen again. Guess we're gonna end up finding all the chests anyway. The process of trying to find our way out of this hell. Oh, there we go. Found our way to the hedge maze. Which in hindsight, this is probably why they didn't let you teleport away, is because they couldn't be sure which place you wanted to get to by teleporting away. What they easily could have done, though, to solve that would have been just give you peace. I see the chessboard in the middle of the hedge maze, so presumably we can get that. It was just so easy to cross the ravine by just running to the other side. People have done that already. They did specifically say that the drawbridge is up. So getting to the other side would just mean we get to a drawbridge we can't cross. Oh. Hi. Maybe going to town would have been a good one. Okay, sure. Get corroded, punk. I'm assuming she wants us to die in the endeavor of doing this. She can kill two birds with one stone. Remember, fire solves all problems. That fireball animation keeps making me think it's dying, because it looks a lot like your typical boss exploding animation. You might want to hit the town before you go down below, though. We are, a bit scarce on supply. So, actually, there was no alchemist in town. Why we're so scarce on supplies to begin with, but it was selling ingredients. Maybe we'll find an alchemist in the ravines. Until then, we'll just need to be careful and/or just axe things out of our way. Axe can do a good amount of damage. Can. So let's just bully the boss into a corner. Oh, this is stupid. I do have call beads too, in case this gets too stupid. Did raise the fireball another level, so that's good. Stung, punk. We do have enough heal spells to last us forever. There's that as well. Unless he doesn't straight up one-shot us somehow, he cannot stop us. Best he can do for himself is make this fight take exceptionally long. Hard to. He most certainly is. This is just the right speed to be a pain in the ass to hit. During his entire attack pattern is crashing into me. kind of hard to hit him once he hits me. And most things in this game have had the attack pattern of smash body. It's definitely designed with using alchemy to the point of abusing it in mind. Because you gotta think, every time you kill with a weapon, you get 1 point towards leveling that weapon out of 100. Whereas every time you use a spell, you usually get like 3 points toward the same total. So it just advances 3 times as fast, pretty much guaranteed. Not to mention, it has range, it stuns, have iframes during it. There's genuinely not much reason to be bothering with this whole hitting things in melee shtick, aside from times like now when you ran out of alchemy ingredients. Because you didn't keep stocking up, or in cases like this, specifically where the game did not provide me just to get more ingredients. Fair enough. That said, we didn't run out of wax, we ran out of oil. Of course, the game only provided wax. Now, don't get me wrong, I probably have the resources to cast, like, Hardball or something, but I didn't bring Hardball with me, because Hardball sucks. What really sucks is not being able to cast anything. But we won. Everything is fine. Now the door's open. Oh, great. Let's go. Do no damage, just auto-die or something. There's genuinely no point to having these things on my screen. They're just in the way. Hey, what's that? It looks like the energy core we saw when the statue blew. That's a bit weird. Why is that sitting there looking like it's ready to explode? Your Highness. Yes, Aronio. Done with the boy and his pig dog. Sent them on a little journey. We're going to the other side of the ravine. Aren't you afraid to learn more than they should from our friends in Ebon Keep? They'll never get that far. The dragons will take care of them first. Besides, if they do get to the other side alive, know what I told them to do. I'll take care of them when they come back. So, advisor man. This forest is nowhere to lollygag. Hence, it's full of meanies. Recommend that you walk softly, Aki. Like me to record your journey? Yes. Suppose you can help me in terms of packing meat. Hey. Yep, this sure is a forest. See why they say it's full of meanies. Oh, it's a Lost Woods situation. I saw that screen transition. I saw it. Can't hide it from me. Oh, God. Send help. Oh, we found a dead end. That's good. That at least means that it's not teleporting me back when I make a wrong turn. It's just a straight up main. If this was genuinely you take a wrong turn, go back to the start, I would have probably just ended there. Camp on the banks of the Great Green Limpopo River. Okay. I have no idea where I'm going. But I know we went in a circle. Okay, confirmed. We did, in fact, go absolutely in a circle. Okay. Knowing that, I know where I need to go a bit. Sign that. Souvenir Spoon Pounding Factory, 5 furlongs, Stores Daily. Dead end? Okay, very good. Sometimes far better than establishing where you can go is establishing where you can't. Once you know where you can't go, you can figure out where you can. Hey, I found an old man. You're quite adventurous to wander so deep into this forest. I hate to tell you, but this is a dead end. We're talking Nowheresville. Once you're here, I'll give you my favorite alchemy spell. I call it 1-Up. Use it just before you lose all your hit points. You'll generate it full power. Nice, huh? I don't know what that feather-looking thing is, and I don't think we need another healing. Thank you, but no thank you. Formula requires a feather and a root to every use. You sell feathers? Oh, Jesus Christ. You can go right to hell with your 1,000-cost feathers there, buddy. Mushrooms. You do sell oil, though. And sort me out on my problem of not being able to set things on fire. A couple more. You have a recipe that you suppose. Right, though, this is a dead end. It's corrosion that you use. Corrosion is 1 mushroom. We are packing a few recipes that use water, though. Might want to start trimming that out. If we start using all of them, we're gonna have no healing water left rapidly. The question is, where the hell am I supposed to be going? Path there? A bit of fakery in the tree. And... When I said this game likes its mazes, I was really not hoping for more mazes. I did not want to be right. Dead end here. Just establishing the bounds of where I need to go. Take heed and go no further. Fuck you, going further. Took heed of your sign and chose to ignore it. That thing. Spooky thing in the tree. I set it on fire. Am I out of wax? I had wax? Oh, no, I don't have wax because I used it all on the other spell. When we were out of oil to use for Flash, I used the rest of it on Crush. I needed to, keep fighting. We actually still don't have our good spell. That's fine. Creepy thing is not targetable, so assume it's fine. I'm also going to assume we're going the right way when I keep seeing him. Basically just following where his head is. Different, or did I'd turn back if I were you. Oh, you're not gonna stop me that way. I'm following the demon. I seem to have lost it. And while my current running may look incredibly haphazard, I know exactly where I've gone so far. Believe it or don't. Mostly stuck to this vertical path here for this last section after we lost track of the weird gargoyle ahead. Aside from checking the side paths on the way down. Back to where we last saw the gargoyle face. Clearly went somewhere wrong. Beautiful Grulville, 25 leagues west. Took a wrong turn somewhere. In fact, I think I actually went back up one more than I meant to. Oh no, there's this. Grulville's to the west, then that should be this way. This is assuming direction has any meaning in this place. Which, given some of our experiences so far with this place, it is very negotiable. Oh no, we ended up back at... I'd turn back if I were. Okay. That also means we ended up backtracking to where we were before. At the very least means I do know where we are. Now, let's see. 9 if I go this way. Grulville, 25 leagues west. But I think this... Yeah, we're currently going opposite of the spooky, so I think we're going backwards. The thing is, he also disappeared at some point going that way, so I'm not really sure which way is the right way. I'm I'm gonna stick with my gut and follow the path where his faces are appearing. See if I can keep finding him. Maybe I just missed him. There he is. Right this way. Trail of creepy goblin man. See Mr. Head at Percival Plank's exhibition of cultural oddities. Okay. And we took a wrong turn somewhere again. Lost the weird spooky goblin head. Maybe he meant for me to go down at that spot, not turn. I assumed I was turning because he was on the right. Chilling there. Now he's over here. This way. I lost him again. Oh, maybe it's the direction he's facing when he's in some screens. Facing back where I came from now. Might mean something. Oh, there he is. Oh, he rotated. On now. There he is. We're fine. Maybe it's just a simple matter of I just need to make sure he's on every screen. Halfway. Oh boy. A little hard to spot this time, but he's right there. You can see him when he moves. See him. And I don't see him again, so he took a wrong turn. Makes sense because he's partway down, which means he meant for us to go that way. No one crosses the Shapelifter's bridge to win. This calls for a little sibling rivalry. Joyous day, I have to fight a clone without much in the way of alchemy. And I'm going to assume I have to fight 3 times probably, considering there's 3 pairs. On the bright side, while he shares my shape, he also shares my weakness, in that can easily be knocked around. Oh, he has magic too, huh? Oh, and his magic really fucking works. Great. And here I am with just the shitty alchemy spells that I haven't leveled yet. Unfortunately, the game is going to be a lot better at handling its own movement patterns than I am. So he does have an advantage in this fight. Especially since he knows the cheese. He can do the alchemy combo better than I can. Might be in trouble on this one. Iframes! They're working against me! Our big hope right now is gonna be just that he doesn't have a ton of health. But I'm gonna err on the side if he probably fucking does. And it is not lost on me that he's conveniently using the auto hit spell rather than anything I can dodge. I've just gotta really hope that he can't use a heal spell. Fuck you. Which actually, you know what? It's gonna take forever. Volbeat. Horus. You don't have any good attacking spells. Fire Eyes. Strike him with lightning. Oh, that worked really well. They're bad boys like the bad dogs, I guess. Oh, he has Storm too, huh? I wish I had Storm, naturally. Probably gonna want to save the remaining call beats for the third one. If this one's got Storm, the next one's gonna have something worse. Dodging like a motherfucker. Thankfully, I can counter his Storm by just cheesing the animation frames. Okay, that one's down. This is gonna be the most powerful, probably. Think cast. There ain't a world where it's your fucking getting to cast that. Okay. Bad boys dealt with. Oh nice, Crusader Sword. I was wondering since they had a sword whether we'd get one. Turns out, yes. Wow, I saw that fight. You're powerful. In fact, you're more than 3 times stronger than yourself. I haven't figured out the math on that, but I saw it with my own eyes. Record your progress? I have very big questions about the concept of being 3 times more powerful than myself, but he's technically not wrong, because we did defeat 3 of ourselves. Back to following Goblin. See him. Guess I went the wrong way. They're looking. What I think I'm going to do is I'm going to finish this section, as in getting us out of the forest, and then probably call it for the day, because I'm getting hungry. And I did eat before this, but I just am getting hungry fast today. I blame the energy drink I had before I started today. Those seem to really make your metabolism go wacky. At least it does for me. Makes sense, because caffeine speeds up everything. Everything work harder. Great. Mountains of Candy, 50 furlong. It's a little weird that we're still following a trail of shapelifters. Oh, we have another boss fight? Oh, Jesus. I am not prepared for this. Come on, cousin, just chill out and go. Let me go my own way, yeah? Oh, you know Fireball. That's lovely for you. I guess we're gonna get another weapon here, considering he's picking his teeth with a spear. Timber. Yeah. We've already done a ton of damage to him with those 2 storms. Oh, good, he just happened to die. Hey there. That works. I think that fireball would have hurt a lot, so I'm glad he died. And yep, we've received the lance when we've had the Crusader sword for all of like 5 minutes. Not even. I think we're out of the forest. So as soon as I find a save, we'll go ahead and find a raid target and move on with our lives for the day. It's not looking like we're gonna find a save point quick. Jeez. I'm assuming we're gonna have to follow these sewers to get into the old keep. Which, considering this place is inhabited still, you would think they'd be using these sewers and they wouldn't be blocked up. But I guess maybe they decided it was better to secure the sewers rather than using them, since they knew hostility was going to be coming from the other keep. That would make sense. Indoor plumbing's all well and good, but if you're having people tunneling up through your sewers, you're better off not having sewers. A lot of treasure. There'd be a secret door leading to. I gotta bust it. Looking like a no. Oh, deal with that, and if we find a way to deal with it. If not, it's probably just a bunch of alchemy ingredients anyway. Which, don't get me wrong, we kind of need those right now. But not immediately necessary. Dog chill. I really need to go back and cut some clips from this whole misadventure. Not just today, just in general. I've not cut anything out of any of Secret of Evermore yet, but there's definitely been a few things I think I should. Okay, now we're in the dungeons of this keep. Which means these are both laid out identical. Crazy strong raptor. I think I'm not gonna fuck with the rest of the buttons. Oh no, I'm gonna have to. Hazard a guess that things are not all as they seem here either. Super gloomy doom happening in the background. Nasty spiders and shit everywhere. Oh great, another fucking murder bot. That's too much damage. Oh, and I can't hit another button until the last thing's dead, huh? Thankfully, its AI is not that great. It's just kind of hanging out and flying around. Otherwise, it absolutely could have killed me already. All it really would have to do is just actually shoot me a couple times, instead of just hanging around and occasionally shooting. The fact that it's fucked off into the background here is a problem. Problem that is solved by bees. Not from the corrosion seems to be working out really well. I wonder if that's actually what's fucking with its AI, is the fact that it's constantly taking damage, so it doesn't really know what to do with that. I would assume its AI is, it takes damage, it runs from damage source. So since its damage source is technically coming from itself, its AI makes it just keep running. And it died. An exit, okay. Oh no, that was back into the sewers. That didn't reset the door. This one's the actual exit. Now, the fact that our weapon's still out is a bit concerning. It's definitely abandoned. But you know, she did say that I don't know what she sent me here to do. So, bets on there not actually being any people here at all for me to evict, and there's just gonna be some kind of horrible monster waiting for me. Because, I'm banking on horrible monster waiting for me. Not be at all shocked if the castle itself is another dungeon. In. Everybody home? Hey! What do we have here? You're not from Avon Keep or Ivor Tower, as far as I can tell. No, we're from Podunk. Can't say I've ever heard of Podunk. Heard of me. Name's Cecil of Baron Castle. Ever heard of my victory over Zeromus? Sure. Well, now that I've settled down with my wife Rosa, I live a quiet life here in Ebon Keep. Is all this armor yours? Yes. This is my business. I sell items I've accumulated over the years. Nice, but it's been slow lately, with most of the people leaving for Ivor Tower. Why didn't you leave too? Just stubborn, I guess. Didn't feel right about it. Still don't. You seem like a nice kid, but you're never going anywhere with that chintzy armor. They suit you up in style. You've heard of my adventures. I feel like we're old friends, so I'll give you a special deal. What can I do for you? I'm so glad I said yes. Because I had a feeling he was going to be a sucker, and I was. I will take this entire new set of armor, thank you. Ooh, I appreciate your business. Please take this powerful weapon with my thanks. I found it in one of my adventures. Jungle on the plateau. Received bazooka. Received thunderball projectile. Wait a minute. You found this on the jungle on the plateau. That's my own goddamn bazooka. That's the one we had when we went in the escape pod and it got broke. We found it. Now we're just getting it back, I guess. An upgrade for armor, though. I should sell him all of this crap I'm carrying, before I forget. Now, for anybody who might be upset that I'm calling him a sucker, I'm not saying that to be mean. He's like genuinely a good guy, but it's funny to me that he's like, you know what, I'm gonna give you a discount because you claimed to know about my adventures. But hey, we got a bazooka now. Mildly unfortunate that the inn wasn't functioning. Got no one to save. If we don't find a natural save point soon, I might just save state and accept that. Because I don't want to be at this too long past this point. Also be lovely to find somebody who sells alchemy ingredients. I bet his wife is around here somewhere, but I haven't seen anybody yet. He might have been in that building, like, further in the back of the inn. The castle. Oh. Changed. There be rats everywhere. Yep. Just exchanged. It's dungeon time. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and save state then, so I don't have to try to chase down a save point, which could take literally hours. That'll do for now. If something breaks and I have to redo progress, I'll make sure to do that before we do the next stream of that. I could return the favor to somebody that rated me that I did not know before. Check in on what they're doing.
11, are you listening?
Recognize what he's doing. Nah, I'll stick with somebody I know this time. I'll get them next time. Go ahead and raid Critter today. Been a while since I've spoken to them. They were one of the early ones that were good to me. Go ahead and be good to them. I'm not super into the idea of WoW or anything, but it'll be a thing. So thank you all for taking the time to sit through more of this mess with me. And of course, have a good one and be good to her, alright? I know I'm in a little bit of a rush on this one, but it'll be what it'll be.